What's going on YouTube? It's Texans Take over here, back with another video. In today's video, we are doing another 7 round mock draft. This time using the regular PFF board, and we're gonna explore the idea of a trade down today. We're gonna figure out what teams are offering. If not, I am going to force a trade into the range that I do think the Texans will trade down to about. Um, as you can see, Caleb Banks go there. Omar Cooper there is a fun one. We do have one trade on the board. It's from the Saints at 42, which is something that actually entices me. But I think the Texans would be looking to move to the top of round two, to the likes of a Cardinals, or a Raiders. So I'm gonna try to move with the Raiders here. I know they're not interested, but I think in the actuality of it all, it would be something like this: 28 and 141 for 36, 102 and 134. Maybe it's 117 instead of 134, but I'll do 134 just to play conservative, just so because I'm forcing this trade, it doesn't seem too egregious. So we pick up an extra pick there. We move down 8 spots, and pick up another fourth round pick. So it lets us have some picks on the bulk of the draft. And I mean, as you can see here with the options available, I get to go with who I want the Texans to select in Peter Woods, and then we can deliberate about who's at 38, dependent on who goes to the Giants. If Pregnon doesn't go and you get Peter Woods and Pregnon, then that's a great start. Obviously, it could be Basantes as well, but I think for the Texans, trading down does make the most sense for them. Creating this capital and having a pick. As Pregnon does go there at 37. So now if you want to trade down, this could be another forced trade. You could look to the Dolphins and do something like this. And it has a 53% chance of going through. If you go to 87, 31, 90, it's at 41. So, you can take 94, offer this trade, move down 5 slots, maybe get a Chase Basantis in there. And we can give 167 if you give us 151. Maybe that makes it get through. So you see, we move back 5 spots. We pick up 94, and we pick up 151. So Concepcion goes there, but then you can go guard here. You can go linebacker here. You have a lot of different avenues you can explore. Um, and for me personally, I think my favorite avenue would likely be actually linebacker. I really like the idea of a Jacob Rodriguez in Houston. I think Gabe Yakas could be a fun one, or Malachi Lawrence. But I think edge could be something you explore at 59, and then 69 you go with your guard, in like a Keelan Rutledge or something like that, and then you trade up for a Connor Liu. So you have so much flexibility here. Even if you want to trade down, you can move down to like 65 there. Um, but moving back twice, and you're able to come out with Peter Woods, and I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Jacob Rodriguez here. I think it's a fun one. Haven't really selected him all too much, and I think he could be a playmaker for the Texans. I really like his ball skills and stuff like that. So makes me excited to select him there. So start to the mock draft is great. You get your penetrator, guy who can rush the quarterback in Peter Woods on the interior, and then you get your playmaker at the linebacker position in Jake Rodriguez. Here at 59 though, in my opinion, this is a trade down spot too. But this time you're trading down for future capital. So I think 63 makes some sense, and then you get like maybe a fourth for next year. And then maybe a fifth. Or a third. No, not a third, but something like this. I think we should look to explore because we don't have that many picks. So you're not picking up any extra picks in this draft, but you are trading down to just get some capital for next year. And I think here at 63 does make some sense for Mr. Keelan Rutledge to come off the board. So you're getting your first offensive lineman, and here at 69, I think you get your second. But I am going to move back up as well, if it is possible, and it looks like it is. 106, and then can you get like 169? No, can you get 170? Can you get 210? You can get 210, which I don't mind. You already have a pick at 102 there, so you're moving a pick you already have. 64% chance going through. We do move back up, so we are going to go with well, I guess you can, if you believe that Connor Liu doesn't go in these 4 picks, you can go with someone else here, and really bank on the fact that he might be available. So here at 69, I think you could go with Antonio Williams. That's a really fun one for me. I think you could go with Mike Washington Jr. here as well. Another fun one, playmaker at the running back position. But for me, I think one of my personal favorites is actually Zachariah Branch out of Georgia, just to have him in the quick game, the screen game. Player that we don't really have, not really a profile that we do possess. So I'm gonna go with Zachariah Branch there, and Connor Lew does not go here. So we are off to a flyer, in my opinion. You get Rutledge, Branch, Lew, Rodriguez, and Woods. I think this is an A plus so far. Um, and I'd be surprised to see it not be graded as an A plus. And then here at 102, you still have Jonah Coleman available to go get your running back if you need to. Um, a guy that can learn off of David Montgomery and then eventually become the RB1, which is what I think he'll do in real life. So that's going to be my pick there. I think it makes too much sense not to do. And then you wait till 134 to make your next selection. Hopefully, like a Max Llewellyn is still there or someone like that who can step in and do a role at edge. And he certainly is. He's all the way down there at 152. So maybe he's available at 151. And we'll try something like this, get 183 maybe. Who else could be in that? Like Chiefs, 176 wouldn't be accepted, but if you give 210, then it has a 55% chance of being accepted. What about 243? 154 at the Ravens, maybe? I mean, yeah, that would likely be accepted, obviously. 155, 195 makes the most sense to me. So we're going to try to do that. Um, and then hopefully Llewellyn does not go. He goes right there to the Titans as soon as I tried to pause to trade up. So a little unfortunate there, but that's just sometimes how the board does end up going. And here at 151, we have not gone tight end, so I think Nate Borkirksher makes a lot of sense here, just to be your blocking tight end, or Eli Raridon, excuse me, could also be a very good depth piece at tight end. Just huge again, and a really good blocker. So you can get your traditional tight end right there with Raridon, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think go with him here, and then we'll see what is available at 155, and that will be looking at the edge. Caden Curry's a little bit down the board. Um, but other than that, you're not really looking for much. Caleb Elam's or is a fun one if you're looking at two linebackers potentially in this draft. Eric Rivers, if you want another receiver, I don't think we do need one. Thaddeus Dixon, I like. But the more I scroll down, the more I think it's just going to be Caden Curry all the way. Really good player for Ohio State, and I think could be a DPR guy in the NFL. So that's what we'll look to convert him with. If we look at the linebackers, Texans met with Wade Woodaz there, and linebacker from Wyoming, who is just not a part of this database. We also met with Jimmy Rolder, who I really like too. Um, just traditional, decent linebacker size there. But yeah, here at 155, I think it does make sense. We're just constantly moving down the board today, but I think it's really going to help us out. Can we get a fifth next? No, we can get a sixth and a seventh. No, not even a seventh next year. If we do, yeah, we'll do this. I think that's a fair deal. Picking up a sixth from next year, so you're really building up your draft capital for next year throughout this draft, which I think is valuable. Um, and we did go with Raridon instead of Borkirksher, who does just go there at 169 to Kansas City. And here at 175, I think now is the time. You could go Trey Moore to be an edge, and I think that's a fun one with the athleticism that he does possess. How many sacks did he have last year? I don't think it'll show us because he was a linebacker. Technically for the Longhorns, but really, really good pass rusher. And I think that's what he's going to be asked to do in the NFL. But Caden Curry, I think, showed so much at Ohio State, sorry, not Iowa State last year, to make me feel good about the selection here at 175. Just a really good player with decent size, and I think could be that 9 tech that we do use to back up the likes of the likes of Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. I don't know how I just blanked on those completely, but as you can see, it is 8 selections so far, and we have 3 more, so it's going to be 11, which is kind of a lot. So maybe if we see something we don't like at 210 or 243, we just trade out for future draft capital. But here at 195, I really like a player that you see near the top of that board, and that is Mr. Zane Durant out of Penn State. If you're looking for a 3 tech, to back up maybe Peter Woods or obviously the other D lineman we have on the interior, Tommy Togiai, Zane Durant, incredible athlete, and I think could certainly do that. So it's a fun selection there, in my opinion. Oscar Dolp is somehow here. I don't know how, but that is such a fun player that it makes me feel like I just have to select him. Even though it might not be realistic, I just think him not going it is such a horrible thing. So we're gonna go with him at 210. I think he will obviously go a lot higher in real life, but For some reason, he's down the board here. I think he will be like a third or fourth round pick in real life. But um, to close out this draft, though, we haven't really looked at the secondary. We have bolstered the defense a little bit with the front seven with Woods, Rodriguez, Curry, Durant, and now we'll round it off going with Jalen Husky here. So this is going to be a short mock draft, but I think probably the best one I've ever done. This just went so well. Um, yeah, it was incredible the way this went. A for Woods, C plus for Rodriguez, C plus for Rutledge, C for Branch, B for Lou, A minus for Coleman, C for Raridon, D plus for Curry, B plus for Durant, C plus for Delp, and C plus for Husky. B plus overall, I think it should be at least an A. I think this draft went incredibly. With the trade out, the Raiders did go with Omar Cooper, which I think could be a really nice pick for them. Um, if Keldrick Falk fell to 28, then that's something I would have actually considered. But we go with Woods at 36, Rodriguez at 43. So, yeah, let me know what y'all think about this mock draft down below. I thought it went excellent. But, yeah, if y'all have enjoyed the videos as of recent, please be sure to like, subscribe. And as always, it's Texans Takeover, and I'm out. Peace.